A person who fulfills their proper destiny, Ming, completes the principles of righteousness and preserves their original vitality, Qi. They do not allow their ego to harm these. And even if they die in shackles, it does not negate the fact that they have fulfilled their proper destiny. However, if one's original vitality is damaged and the principles of righteousness are incomplete, even if they die peacefully in their bed, it cannot be considered a proper destiny. In cultivating virtue, the foremost qualities are restraint and composure. Within restraint and composure, the most important are clarity and simplicity. Those who are deeply restrained and composed fear ambiguity and hidden dangers. Superficial individuals, though they may appear bright and insightful, lack the depth required to nurture true virtue. Someone once asked, when people are about to die and see spirits or ghosts, is it real or an illusion? The response was, when awake, what one sees is real. In dreams, it is illusory. When the soul wanders and detaches from the body, it perceives things wherever it goes. This is an external illusion. When the spirit and mind are unstable and disconnected, they create scenes based on what they encounter. This is an internal illusion. Thus, the sage has no dreams and the fool has no dreams, for both are free from delusions. When a person is about to die, it is like dreaming. The soul flies away, the spirit becomes chaotic in the eyes, and the vital energy disperses, allowing evil influences to enter the heart. Therefore, what they see is all illusion, not reality. Some may see themselves being bound and taken away. This is especially illusory. The teachings of heterodox beliefs seep into people's bones, causing fear at the moment of death, which often leads to such visions. If death must involve being summoned, then do cattle, sheep, mosquitoes, and ants also have summoners when they die? Generally, the life and death of plants, the cohesion and dispersion of earth and stones, and the birth, death, beginning, and end of humans and all creatures follow the same principle. There is no other explanation. If there were, it would be an anomaly. Vital energy, Qi, has no end. Physical forms inevitably decay. The true essence and flavor of things should be preserved and not exposed. Their profundity is infinite and beyond words, which is why the sages remain silent. Once spoken of, it becomes endless chatter, fragmented and diluted, leaving nothing substantial to savor. One's inherent nature must not be allowed to become deficient. Therefore, its scope is vast. It encompasses the pursuit of understanding principles, Yongli, fulfilling one's nature, Jin Xing, comprehending heaven, Datian, attaining spiritual insight, Ru Shen, and achieving greatness and brilliance, Ji Guangda, Jigaoming. Desires and emotions, however, should not be excessive. Thus, their scope is limited. They include cautious speech, prudent actions, self-discipline, a clear mind, moderation in eating, and restraint in desires. The highest quality in a person is depth, solidity, and gravitas. The second is openness and heroism. The third is intelligence and eloquence. The universe is fundamentally a world of emotions, which is why all things experience joy and suffering. However, the sage and the enlightened transcend this. The broad, luminous, and profound qualities in people are the energy of heaven and earth. Warmth and harmony are the energy of spring. Indulgence and permissiveness are the energy of summer. Sternness, restraint, and a penchant for punishment are the energy of autumn. Hiddenness and miserliness are the energy of winter. Rage is the energy of thunder. Wildness is the energy of a storm. Confusion is the energy of fog. Lingering resentment is the energy of accumulated yin. Calmness and gentleness are the energy of a mild breeze and sweet rain. Clarity and insight are the energy of a clear sky and bright moon. Whatever one is drawn to, they will inevitably resemble. The innate energy, Xiantianji, is subtle, barely noticeable. Acquired energy, Hutianji, when expanded, reaches its full potential. In truth, the fullest extent of this potential is rooted in the subtlety of the innate energy. If the innate energy is absent, no amount of expansion can add to it. The forms, colors, talents, and emotions of all things can be understood through this principle. A snail hides in its shell, enduring the scorching sun for years without withering. There must be something within it that prevents decay. This is the divine use of the innate life force. Orchids are fragrant because of fire, but they are also destroyed by it. Oil is illuminated by fire, but it is also exhausted by it. Firecrackers make noise because of fire, but they also dissipate because of it. Yin is what preserves. Yang is what destroys. Is this not true of sounds, colors, smells, and tastes as well? The world believes that accumulation leads to sufficiency, calling it the eternal candle. Fire's nature is to rise. Water's nature is to flow. Wood's nature is to grow freely. Metal's nature is to be hard and unyielding. Earth's nature is to be heavy and solid. This is also how they give life to things. Unity reveals nature. Duality gives rise to emotion. No person can remain calm when paired with another. No object remains silent when paired. Sound has no form or color. It relies on an instrument. Fire has no substance. It relies on fuel. Color has no anchor. It relies on plants. Thus, among the five elements, only fire has no form, yet its uses are endless. A person's thoughts rise and fall with their vital energy and blood. Before the age of 40, one is ambitious, with unsettled views but daring to act. After 40, one's mind becomes steady, with settled views and measured actions. After 60, one's mind begins to withdraw. Though insight is clear, energy wanes. This is not true for everyone, but it is the general pattern. In ancient times, people entered public service at 40 and retired at 60 or 70, reflecting this understanding. Some young people are timid and avoid responsibility, listless as if already in the grave. Others in old age are restless, impulsive, and eager for action. Both are deviations from the norm. To mistake the energetic youth as capable and the dispassionate elderly as mature is a grave error. Figures like Deng Yu, who was steady and resolute, and Ma Yuan, who remained vigorous in old age, were rare even in ancient times. Destiny is determined by heaven, but the noble person takes control of their destiny, as does the petty person. The noble person aligns their destiny with righteousness, refusing to accept what is not gained through proper means. For them, destiny is not worth discussing. The petty person, driven by desire, defies destiny, striving for what they cannot rightfully obtain, refusing to accept their lot. The noble person believes their destiny is in their hands, aligning with the natural order of heaven. The petty person believes their destiny is in their hands, relying on chance and luck. Thus, the noble person's heart is always at peace, while the petty person's heart is always troubled. Nature, Xing, is the totality of principle, Li, and energy, Qi. There is no principle that is not good, but not all energy is good. Those who argue that human nature is good speak purely of principle. Those who argue that human nature is evil or a mix of good and evil speak of both principle and energy. Thus, the classics and commentaries speak of nature in various ways, but only Confucius's view is without fault. Energy, Qi, and habits, Yang, are the two obstacles for scholars. The benevolent and the righteous often oppose each other. The ritual-minded and the trustworthy often clash. These are obstructions of temperament. Those with high buns laugh at those with low buns. Those with long robes mock those with short sleeves. These are obstructions of habit. When the great way is clear, it unites all temperaments under it. Even if they cannot be fully united, no one dares to impose their biases on others. When the king's system is unified, it aligns all tendencies. Even if they cannot be fully aligned, no one dares to impose their habits on others. Alas, who will take up this task? Parents give birth to a child whole, and the child should return whole. Not a hair or a piece of skin should be damaged. This is the filial piety of a child to their parents. Heaven gives birth to a person whole, and the person should return whole. Not a trace of their original nature should be lacking. This is the filial piety of a person to heaven. The Yu court did not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying, "The human heart is perilous. The Tao heart is subtle." Some say the human heart is not nature. To this it is replied, if it is not nature, is it still the product of yin, yang? and the five elements. The six classics do not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying the great Lord on high bestowed a constant nature on the people below. They also say, heaven gave birth to the people, but without a ruler their desires lead to chaos. Confucius did not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying, what follows it is good, what completes it is nature. He also said, human nature is similar, but only the wisest and the most foolish do not change. To speak of similarity implies difference. Distance begins from similarity. Zishi did not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying, cultivating the way is called teaching. If nature were entirely good, what need would there be for cultivation? Mencius did not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying, sounds, colors, tastes, and comfort are part of human nature. Some say, this nature is good. To this it is replied, if it is good, why do noble people not call it so? He also said, move the heart and endure nature. Can good nature be endured? The nature of a dog, the nature of an ox. Are these not natures? Are the natures of dogs and oxen also the natures of benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and trustworthiness? Upon closer examination, is the nature of a dog still the nature of a dog, and the nature of an ox still the nature of an ox? Zhou Dunyi did not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying, the five natures interact, and good and evil emerge. Thus, all things arise. He also said, the subtlety of good and evil. Chung Hao did not exclusively speak of the goodness of human nature, saying, evil cannot be denied as part of nature. Generally, those who speak of the goodness of human nature focus on principle and ignore energy. This began with Mencius's refutation of other schools, and later Confucian scholars followed this view without daring to differ. They failed to observe the nature of heaven, earth, and all things. Principle is indeed bestowed by heaven, but is energy not also natural? Not only ordinary people, but even Yao, Shun, Yu, Tang, Wen, Wu, the Duke of Zhou, and Confucius, did they all share the same energy? I humbly propose, the nature of principle is purely good. The nature of energy has both good and evil. Energy is also bestowed by heaven and is inherent in human life. Can it not be called nature? Chung Yi said, to discuss nature without discussing energy is incomplete. To discuss energy without discussing nature is unclear. To separate nature and energy into two categories is to miss the point. Zhang Zai considered goodness as the nature of heaven and earth, and purity and impurity as the nature of energy, which seems fragmented. In truth, heaven and earth are one energy, and principle resides within it. When bestowed upon all things, it is called nature. Thus, the character for nature, Xing, combines life and heart, meaning the heart of life. If there were no energy, there would only be virtue, and everyone would be a born sage. The thousands of words of the ancient sages, their teachings and laws, would all be superfluous. Why would they go to such lengths? All of this was to subdue energy and support virtue. I present this argument here to be debated for generations to come. Nature is like a mother with 5 children. The 5 natures are the children of one nature. Emotions are the children of the 5 natures. The one nature is still, for stillness is yin. The 5 natures are active, for activity is yang. Nature is originally undifferentiated, perfectly still and unmoving. Thus it is said, human life is stillness. This is the nature of heaven. Once nature is spoken of, it is no longer nature. This is the teaching of the one nature. The Song Confucians contributed to Mencius's teachings by introducing the concept of the nature of energy, saving much debate. Someone asked, do animals and plants also have nature? The answer was yes. They asked again, is their life also decreed by heaven? The answer was, heaven creates all things through yin, yang, and the 5 elements. How could it not be decreed by heaven? Someone asked, when Confucius taught people, nature was not his primary concern. The response was, whenever the sage spoke, it was about nature. Water is clear, but when mixed with soil, it becomes muddy. Fire has no substance, but when it meets wood, it produces smoke. Nature is singular, but when mixed with energy, it becomes tainted.